JReal.
Good morning, people, and welcome to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, JReal, bringing you a Tuesday edition of the show. We hope you had a great weekend, and we are looking so forward to this Thursday because we are all going to grub down on some good eats and treats and enjoy that Thanksgiving meal. Now, moving on with sports news, we have to start with the NCAA football programs. Teams are dropping like flies, but the one consistent team is Alabama. Now, I am like so tired of hearing these experts and these football pros, I guess, or analysis, or whoever these guys are, where they're from or where they're coming from, that would actually try to say that Alabama should not be ranked #1 this season. That is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. You're talking about a team that has lost one game in like 3 years. Are you freaking kidding me? They're national champions. I don't care if they have a weaker schedule. If they're undefeated, which they are, they're #1. That's it, period. They won the national championship last year, folks. What's so hard to understand about that? If the saying goes, and it's so cliche, but to be the best, you gotta beat the best. That's the simplest way to put it, and these morons don't get it. They want to say Florida should be #1, or A&M, and I mean, before they got beat down last week, and I mean all these other schools. Let's see who else they got out there. Stanford, Oregon State, I mean Ohio State. These are all good teams. We're not knocking them. But there's nowhere on this planet that anyone should reasonably think that Alabama should not be #1 due to what they've done and do because of what they're doing right now this season. They're undefeated. They won the national championship back to back, and they're going to do it again. So how in the world are you going to try to say that they should be #1? Moving on from that because that's a simple, easy issue to solve right there, which is common sense and brains. Moving on, Aj McCarron finally sniffing, finally getting some respect and some looks from eyeballs of professionals that are out there that are going to be choosing the Hiesman Trophy this year, and he's finally getting his due. But this is the problem. He's not getting his due because what he's done on the field and what he's done for his team and what they have done as a team over the last 3 years. No, he's not getting it because of that. He's getting it because everyone else that's up on that list that had him way down here, the list is just unanimously being scratched off due to weak performances, sorry performances, lack of character, or possible felony charges being brought against these individuals that are knocking them off this list. So as all of these things are happening, Aj McCarron is slowly working his way up. And again, not because he is a 2-time champion, going to be 3, and then been on the roster for the 4th. No, not because of that. Not because he's ran the most effective, offensive, complete team in the NCAA when it comes to football over the last 2 years. Not because he plays for one of the toughest coaches and probably has his stress level, his meter is probably at the highest point every time the guy gets on the field, and he comes through and he produces and he takes his team there. Not for all those things, but because everyone else is sucking or getting arrested. That's how pathetic this Hiesman Trophy is. I mean, first of all, we already had on the show that if Aj McCarron did not win the Hiesman Trophy this year, we're not going to care about the Hiesman Trophy here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show because it's worthless and it's crap. But now, the more we look at it, it's still crap because he's not winning or will win because of what he's done on the field, but it's because of what everyone else has done, either lack of on the field because they suck and they should have been nowhere near the top of the list, but for whatever reason, all these experts have him there. Or again, because they're getting arrested and going to prison. So we'll leave that with that. Aj McCarron is the clear-cut, absolute Hiesman Trophy for 2013, and it's because he's the bomb. That's period. Now, moving on from NCAA, we got to go to some NBA because Kobe Bryant just signed a 2-year, $48+ million deal extension with the Lakers. Now, many people are on both sides. One say, oh, it's totally fair because he is the Lakers. Just makes sense that the Lakers totally invest all of their financial assets into Kobe Bryant and not be able to bring any free agents, any other big signs on to make this team a championship caliber team. No, we're just going to show Kobe Bryant that we appreciate what he's done for our team and our city, and we're going to give him basically the keys to the next 2 years of our future for our franchise with that kind of a, deal. But then you have the other side that goes, it's crazy. He's 35 years old. He just had major knee surgery. He'll never play the same. Are you folks crazy? Because now you have no chance, even with Kobe Bryant, of even sniffing a championship for the next 2 years. Well, we're on the fence about it. Because it's not that we have a fact that they signed Kobe Bryant to a 2-year deal or that they gave him almost $50 million. The problem that we have is, why would Kobe Bryant just totally sell his soul to just be on a lukewarm, and we got some guys coming out at the door, they always like coming and waving, but lukewarm team that ain't going to win any championships. He's going to end up with 5 championships. That's it, period. 5. And he's not going to get his 6th because of this deal. So what we got to say is, Kobe, you sold your soul, man. You should have looked at the possibility of going to another team or saying, hey, I'll take less money, which it's crazy to think that he'd take more money, as some people have said he would have, or ran him through the cleaners, which we think he did. But he's not going to win another championship with that team. The guy's 35 years old. He'll be lucky to play halfway through the seasons. But anyway, with that said, Kobe, he's one of the best. Got his money, got his deal. He'll be fine. And then what's going on over with Jason Kidd? This guy is running the Nets into the ground. They have Kevin Garnett and all of the other big pieces that they need to make this team successful. And instead, they hired a coach that doesn't even have the caliber of play that these guys that are on the team. So how the heck are they going to listen to this guy? He's not even coaching. From what reports are coming out of New York, that he just sits around and the assistant coaches and the line coaches are the ones that actually coach the team. So with that said, that's pretty bad. He cannot be a friend to these guys. He has to be a coach. And right now it looks like he's being a friend. And that's not even working really well because Paul Pierce supposedly is having a lot to say about their coach in Jason Kidd. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. We'll keep our eyes on that. Keep you guys in tune on that. And then also, Jalen Rose. Are you kidding me? First of all, it's amazing that this is the first time that you'll hear his name brought up since last year's finals or the playoffs, because we were done with Jalen Rose. But here it is, just to throw it out there to you all. He has another injury, another knee injury. Not his injured knee that he had surgery on, it's his other knee. So this guy is so done. We're done. We've been done with Rose, but we just have to bring it out that he was injured and that he's going to be out for the rest of the season again this year, and he'll probably never be the same again. So with that said, moving on, Jalen Rose, Chicago, they're going to have to rebuild, retool that whole team, and it's sad because he punked out last year and no one's going to back up this guy. It's crazy. So finally, we're going to move on to the NFL. We have people that are, after Monday night, are so down on this Manning. They're saying Payton Manning, he's no good. His injuries are starting to show. He can't play in cold weather, on and on and on. And you know what? Maybe he cannot play in cold weather. Maybe that's just not his thing. He is a dome player. He is a nice, warm, temperature controlled player. But with that said, how can anybody honestly give Tom Brady all of these accolades when, if you look at it, Tom Brady himself is 2 bull-esque calls away from winning Super Bowls? This guy would only have really 1 Super Bowl if it wasn't for some really bad, horrible calls. And they were not even horrible. Actually, they changed rules for this guy. They made up rules to help him win. That's how bad this guy needed help to win Super Bowls. So we're not going to be on the Tom Brady. Is he a good quarterback? Sure. Yes, he is. He brought back his team from a 21, 24 point deficit at halftime, and it was the Broncos to win in overtime Monday night. But give me a freaking break. Would you take Tom Brady over Peyton Manning? I don't know. It's a hard call. Depends on the situation. But we're not going to go either way because we're not big fans of either player. Excuse me. Now moving on with the Steelers. The Steelers are rolling. These guys were the worst team in the NFL. I called it like 2 months ago. They were the worst team in the NFL. But now they have a better record than like, what, 40%? And 2 of the teams were supposed to go to the Super Bowl. That was the Texans and that's the Falcons. These guys are horrible. What are they, 2-9, 2-8, something like that? It's ridiculous to see this turnaround. And the Steelers, even though we love for them to win, they're just jacking up our freaking pick for next year's draft. So anyway, we'll have to see how they do. We love the Steelers winning. We don't want them to be the worst team in the NFL, but they are costing us points and positions in the draft. We'll have to see how that works out. And then finally, when we wrap up right now, we're going to wrap up with some NFL chat. And that's going on with Robert Griffin III is just getting slapped around in Washington. Everything the guy does is criticized. Everything he does is looked down on, frowned upon. And they're making fun of this guy for no reason. Who cares if he doesn't want to answer questions? Who cares if he doesn't want to say that he is the best leader in the NFL? There's so much more to a football team than that. So all we're going to say is, Washington, stick with him. Let him get better. He will get better. Your team will get better. And just, you know, if you have to get a new coach, that's about the only problem I see. Their coach, Shanahan, is riding on those Super Bowl wins from the Broncos way too long now. He's not going to have that horse to ride in next year if they don't do something by the end of this season. So with that said, Robert Griffin III, you're still one of the best quarterbacks. Hang in there. You're going to do a great job next season, I'm sure. But for right now, we just got to say thank you for tuning in to Tuesday's show. Check out Fridays. And as always, we got to thank the Player Zone, gaming, memorabilia, autographs, comics, sports cards. You're talking Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of that great stuff. All your gift ideas and needs, hit the Player Zone at 2117 Sutter Drive in Rio Doso, New Mexico, or you can contact them at 575-257-0559, the Player Zone. Hit them up. We got to thank Freestyle Jewelry again, hooking us up with some really cool gold-filled rolled gold. It's the same stuff, quality, great look, lasts forever, but at a fraction of the cost. And then we also got to thank Seeping Springs RV and Campground. We can't thank you enough. Check them out down in the Downs off the Highway 70. And do not forget, it's a no bully zone, Player Zone. And our big campaign, Why Bully Make a Friend. If you want to get involved, again, no money, don't send anything like that. But we could use some help with some t-shirts, some stickers, just some simple ideas like that. Or if you just want to write in, you can write in at P.O. Box 1942, Capitan, New Mexico, 88316. Let us know your story, or if you just need someone to chat with, we'll be happy to be here for you, okay? Again, no bullies. If you're interested in getting involved, let us know. We'd love to have you. But for right now, JReal's going to sign out. Peace and much love. We will see you on Friday's show.
JReal. JReal.